Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a phenomenon that hasn't just participated in digital media, it has literally reshaped the entire landscape. We are, of course, talking about James Stephen Donaldson, better known as MrBeast. How exactly did a teenager making low-res Minecraft videos in his bedroom transform into the head of a massive, multi-billion-dollar global conglomerate? Well, let's find out.
506 million. And no, that's not a view count, that is a subscriber base. In June 2026, Jimmy Donaldson achieved something no other individual creator has ever done, crossing the 500 million subscriber mark on YouTube. With over 132 billion total views, his reach absolutely eclipses the populations of most countries. But this kind of incredible scale, it definitely didn't happen by accident.
Now you might be wondering, how does someone even do that? Well, Donaldson himself actually admits there was a solid 5-year period where he just lived and breathed the YouTube algorithm. He would lock himself away, order takeout, sit at his computer all day, and relentlessly reverse engineer exactly what makes a video go viral. This obsessive, analytical drive to basically decode the system is the absolute core of our explainer today.
To really wrap our heads around this $5 billion empire, we're going to break it down into 5 key pillars: cracking the algorithm, the content machine, the beast business empire, philanthropy at scale, and finally, the controversies and growing pains that inevitably come with such unprecedented scale. Let's jump right into pillar number 1, cracking the algorithm. This is all about the science of virality, going back to when Jimmy was just a college dropout determined to crack the code. So, back in late 2016, Donaldson made a massive gamble. He dropped out of college, a move that actually forced him to leave his family's home. But by January 2017, all that studying paid off. He filmed himself simply counting to 100,000. It was a grueling 40-hour stunt, but it completely exploded in popularity. A few months later, he scored his first major brand deal for 10 grand. But instead of pocketing the cash, he turned around and gave the entire sum to a homeless person on camera. That exact moment laid the foundation for his signature format, blending extreme stunts with massive philanthropy.
He capitalized on that early success by pioneering what industry observers now call MrBeastification. At the heart of this is something called retention editing. If you've ever found yourself glued to your screen without really knowing why, well, this is the blueprint. We're talking bright thumbnails, a premise introduced within the first 30 seconds, loud sound effects, and 0 pauses. Every single frame is mathematically calibrated to hold your attention and feed the recommendation algorithm exactly what it craves.
Moving right along to our second pillar, the content machine, escalating the spectacle. Because once you crack that code, you've got to keep feeding the machine, right? And the evolution here is just staggering. Think back to his 2012 to 2017 era. It was mostly basic Minecraft Let's Plays and poking fun at bad YouTube intros from a dark bedroom. Now, flash forward to his modern era, we are looking at a real-life Squid Game recreation where 456 people competed for nearly $500,000. We're talking massive productions featuring A-list superstars like Tom Brady, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Serena Williams. He essentially transformed from a solo guy in a bedroom into a full-blown Hollywood-level studio. Of course, pulling off that kind of spectacle takes serious cash. By 2022, Donaldson was dropping roughly $1 million on every single flagship release. And why does this matter? Because he essentially built a self-perpetuating cycle. A $1 million video gets hundreds of millions of views. That generates massive AdSense revenue and huge brand deals, which he then immediately pours right back into an even bigger video. And the result of that relentless machine? It's a compounding velocity of growth that honestly people thought was impossible. He hit 100 million subscribers in July 2022. It took just over a year to hit 200 million. By July 2024, he was the first to cross 300 million. And less than 2 years after that, $500 million. The machine was perfectly optimized. But you know, digital views were never the final boss here. Let's dive into pillar 3, the beast business empire, where we look at how Donaldson translated all that digital dominance into real-world commerce. In January 2026, Beast Industries pulled off a massive funding round, raising $200 million. That put the conglomerate's valuation at a staggering $5 billion. The key takeaway here is a fundamental shift in identity. MrBeast is no longer just a YouTube channel, he is a sprawling holding company. When you actually break the empire down by verticals, the sheer scale becomes pretty wild. In food, he launched Feastables, MrBeast Burger, and Lunchly, literally taking on heavyweights like Lunchables. In tech and finance, he's heavily invested in startups like Backbone and the youth-focused app Step. And in traditional entertainment, he struck a massive deal with Amazon Prime for Beast Games,
launched his own fast streaming channel, and even mapped out a Beastland theme park in Saudi Arabia. He is absolutely everywhere.
And there's a deeper strategy here. Take his 2026 acquisition of the fintech app Step, for example. He stated, "I want to give millions of young people the financial foundation I never had." He is effectively weaving his brand into the daily utility, the eating habits, and the financial literacy of his viewers. It's an absolute masterclass in audience monetization.
Which brings us to a massive, and sometimes polarizing part of his world. Pillar 4, philanthropy at scale, spectacle or structural change.
The trajectory of his fundraising goes up just as fast as his subscriber count. Teaming up with creators like Mark Rober, Team Trees raised over $24 million back in 2019. Team Seas followed that up by pulling in over $30 million. And by August 2025, Team Water raised north of $40 million. On top of all that, his dedicated Beast Philanthropy channel donates 100% of its revenue directly to charity, funding everything from clean water wells to life-changing medical procedures. But, as you can imagine, this unprecedented scale of giving has sparked a pretty serious debate. Supporters praise the tangible millions raised for organizations like the Arbor Day Foundation and WaterAid. They point to the real people who can see or hear again because of his funding. Critics, on the other hand, argue this borders on quote-unquote charity porn, turning philanthropy into a spectacle for views. They suggest that localized giveaways just don't solve the systemic structural inequalities causing these issues in the first place. To his credit, Donaldson acknowledges that government action is ultimately needed for structural change, and he maintains that he doesn't personally profit from these specific videos.
Managing a $5 billion conglomerate that moves at breakneck speed is going to create some serious friction. That leads us right into our fifth and final pillar, the controversies and growing pains of the Beast Empire. As the organization rapidly expanded, multiple controversies bubbled to the surface. Several former employees alleged a highly demanding workplace culture when the cameras were off. Then, in late 2024, a class-action lawsuit was filed by contestants of the Amazon Prime Beast Games show over alleged unsafe conditions and unpaid expenses. In 2025, Mexican authorities accused his team of unauthorized commercial filming at the Chichen Itza ruins, and in early 2026, a lawsuit was brought forward by a former employee alleging gender discrimination and wrongful termination. But to get the complete picture, we really have to look at the responses. Regarding those early workplace claims, Donaldson noted he actually paid one former editor a $10,000 bonus and recommended him for a new job. For the Beast Games lawsuit, production blamed external nightmares, like extreme weather and that massive global CrowdStrike outage. His team maintained they had full permits for the Mayan ruins, and Donaldson entirely denied the 2026 employee allegations. What this really shows is that as an empire scales to $5 billion, its legal and PR complexity scale right alongside it. So, after all of that, where does this leave the pioneer of modern digital media? Well, kind of ironically, back in 2024, the very creator who pioneered this fast-paced, retention editing style publicly called to end the overstim era of content. He's actually trying to evolve the medium away from the very monster he created, recognizing a fundamental shift in what audiences actually want. Which leaves us with one final major thought. Jimmy Donaldson reverse-engineered the internet to become a global superpower. He fed the algorithm perfectly. But as his enterprise navigates high-stakes lawsuits, physical product launches, and a massive corporate valuation, the ultimate question remains: can the MrBeast machine sustain this unprecedented scale without losing its soul? It's a question that will absolutely define the next era of digital media. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the algorithms that shape our world.